Alright, so let's continue on with the payment method. So, to get started with, inside the subscription form, I want to continue on where we left off. So in here, I want to have if Stripe or elements, and in here, I just want to return nothing, if that's the case. Then we want to define the card elements. We want to define error and payment method, which is going to be equal to await. In this case, Stripe, the create payment method. And in here, we're going to have a type of card. And we're also going to have a card element in here, which is this one we created here. So with that sorted, let's go in here and say if error, then we want to say toast error.message and set this as a type error. Otherwise, we want to go in and say post, because again we're using the use form, so we want to post in here to the subscribe root with the payment method.id. In here we want to make sure we have on success, and we want to toast subscription successfully done, and then we want to have in here an on error. Again, I'm just gonna tidy this up because it's looking a little bit weird. There we go, something went wrong. So this is basically saying that if something went wrong on the server side, we'll just say something goes wrong. Here we'll say the subscription is successful. And if something goes wrong on the front end, where the Stripe validation goes wrong, or it's a wrong, incorrect card type, something along those lines, it will say the message the Stripe provides, basically. So with that sorted, we have the filters plans down here. Let's go and take a look at how this would look like. So I'm going to go in and say npm run dev. I'm going to go in and put this in. I'm going to go ahead and create a user. And in this user, I am going to be logging in. So currently this is failing, so I'll just quickly go in and open up my database tools. So if I go in and open up the database tools here, you can see I'm using DB Engine, so I'll just go in and open my database. Click login. I need to refresh again. There we go. Alright, so let's just head to the premium pay, to the pay page. See what's going wrong here. Missing value for Stripe, API key should be a string. Okay, so to rectify this API key bit here, let's head into our component subscription form. And inside the subscription model, inside the subscription model, I'm just going to put in an API key here. So it would typically be something along these lines. And then just something random here. I'm just going to hide this from you so you don't see what it is fully. And there we go. But yeah, so basically you just pass through that key. I'm going to close this model now. I'm going to go in and see what happens if I refresh. And we're currently getting an issue here. So inside the subscription form, let's just make sure that we have in here we have a whole form element. Let's just make sure we have all of this correct. So I'm just going to copy the code in just to make sure this is correct. This will be available in the GitHub repository. So I'm going to copy this code in here. We're going to have a handle on submit. And on top of that, we also want to make sure that we have this properly sorted for handling the billing data and all that. So I'm going to go up here onto the top. And I'm just going to set this code here. Just making sure this is working correctly. Okay, so furthermore, we also need to make sure that outside of this handle submit function, that we have the ability to go in as well into the subscription model. Inside the subscription model, again, we're putting through this elements here, and we need to pass through the subscription form, which we haven't done yet, which is why it's not working. So let's go in and say import, and in this case I'm going to go in and say import subscription form from component subscription form. I'm going to pass through this here, and in here I want to pass through the plans as plans, and I want to pass through subscription as subscription, and I want to close it. This may give an error, by the way, so okay, so this is not working, so that's because we need to say inside, for example, if you go into dashboard here, you can see we have this loaded as subscription. So if we go ahead and say subscription form like this, it should work fine now, hopefully. Let's try to get a refresh. And we need to have an export inside the subscription form as well. So let's export the subscription form. Export default subscription form. We're getting a bunch of errors here because of this. So we don't have the plan pass through yet. So that's something we should probably pass through to subscription models inside pay.jsx. Let's make sure we have the plans pass through here. Are we accepting the plans in? We are. Alright. So if we just get rid of the subscription model for now, and just say plans. Alright, so we have this plans object here, which is being passed through to here and being passed in here. Let's make sure that inside the pay controller here, that we are passing through the plans. So let's say in this case we need to go into our resources. No, sorry, we could need to pass this through as a subscription plan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna create a variable here called plans, where we get the oldest one first, and then in here I just want to pass through plans as plans, and then I want to pass through the subscription as well, which we just get like this. And we need to pass through a subscription resource, which we need to actually make. So let's go ahead and make that now. I'm just gonna remove that there. Perfect. And if we now go ahead and import this up here, then in here, let's just for now, inside the subscription resource, return the relevant information here. So I have already written this down, and to save time, let's pass through all of this here. So what we're doing in here is we're passing through if the user subscribe, we check this on the user model, if the subscription, Stripe price here, ends at in grace period, cancelled, ended, on trial, and so on. So all of this data we're going to basically be passing through to the front end now. So we have now subscription renews on. That's something we don't have yet, so we'll just comment that out for now. And there you go. Alright, so that's all for this video. In the next video, we're going to be working on fixing this issue where the plan's not properly showing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.